Pat Riley did it again, and usually we do this video in terms of something positive happening, but even though the Heat won last night against the 76ers, this is going to be a negative video on Pat Riley. It is not a good thing what Pat Riley did again, and well, some Heat fans might have gotten deja vu when they selected Kel'el Ware in front of the Philadelphia 76ers. Why, you might ask? Well, if you go back to the 2020 NBA draft, the Heat drafted forward/center Precious Achiuwa out of Memphis with the 20th overall pick, who went number 21 to the 76ers. Oh, yeah, Tyrese Maxey, the All-NBA guard. Well, the Heat drafted one spot in front of the Sixers again this past June, and what did the Heat do? They took a forward/center, Kel'el Ware, in front of a guard, Jared McCain, who has been outstanding and is the favorite to win Rookie of the Year so far through the first 13 games of the season. On today's show, we're going to look if the Heat made a mistake with this draft pick and why I believe it is a mistake. But I want to know if you guys agree with me down in the comment section. What say you? Do you believe the Heat made a mistake back in June drafting Kel'el Ware over Jared McCain? Type Y for yes or type N for no. If it's not evident, I absolutely do. And I don't think it was just a mistake taking Kel'el Ware over Jared McCain, who went 16th to the 76ers. I also think it was a mistake taking him over Dalton Knecht, who ended up going 17th overall to the Los Angeles Lakers. It's not revisionist history either from your boy. I said it in the moment on both players. I am on record wanting both Dalton Knecht and Jared McCain over Kel'el Ware. And I have only been confirmed and reaffirmed through the first month and a half of the season. For example, let's go back to June 26th, the night of the NBA draft, when the Heat got on the clock with the 15th overall pick. What did I tweet out in all caps? You have to take Dalton Knecht. Knecht was someone really high on my draft board and someone I would have loved the Miami Heat taking. I know he was an older prospect and he's known as a off-ball movement shooter and scorer, which you could argue the Heat didn't need because of Duncan Robinson, but I would have countered with, hey, you take the best player available and then you can trade Duncan Robinson and his $19 million contract. But let's take a look at something else to back up my notion that I was on record. 4 months ago, Miami Heat NBA draft big board by the Miami Heat Report. Last video on big board before I did this. Who is my number one guy on the big board for the Heat? Jared McCain. And this list, by the way, was fully on the likelihood that they would be available at 15 and then who I'd want the Heat to take. I didn't even have Dalton Knecht on my top 10 because I didn't think there was a world that he was going to be available for the Heat to draft at 15. And he was. If I knew Knecht was going to be available, he would have been my number one. But you saw my number one. It was Jared McCain, the guard out of Duke, because I believed his ability to be a off-ball shooter, point-of-attack defender, and ball handler would have helped this Miami Heat team more than anything else when you look at what Kel'el Ware would have brought to the table. And now, we talked about Knecht and McCain getting passed on. Look at these two. These two might very well be the top two in Rookie of the Year voting right now. Jared McCain is clear-cut number one. I think Dalton Knecht is likely 2 or 3 in the mix with a Zach Edey, in the mix with a Bub Carrington. All of those players I just mentioned of Edey and Carrington in the before draft, or drafted before, I should say, Miami Heat. But look at this. They're unbelievable. They're both shooting 40% from beyond the arc, nearly 50% from the field. And in Jared McCain's kind of way, he has, even though the Sixers have stunk, really been able to provide some of the productivity they've missed with Paul George out of the lineup in some of the games, with Tyrese Maxey out of the lineup for some of the games. McCain's been absolutely unbelievable. Meanwhile, Kel'el Ware can't even see the floor. And I know some of you might say that's Erik Spoelstra's fault. That's not Pat Riley's fault. But the truth is this. If Erik Spoelstra trusted Kel'el Ware to be on the floor and to play on a consistent nightly basis, he would be on the floor. I would be willing to guarantee if you had Jared McCain or Dalton Knecht on this roster, they would be seeing the floor pretty consistently and not being benched. I get it. Kel'el Ware, when he was selected, everybody knew this was more of a developmental piece than a connector McCain because he's just so raw. He didn't play that much in college. 2 seasons. 1 year was not so good as a freshman at Oregon, and then flashed in the sophomore season with the Indiana Hoosiers. I get it. He's more of a developmental project. He has to add more weight, strength. But McCain and Connect would have arguably filled more important roles on this Heat team, and they were more ready to contribute right away, even though Jared McCain was a one-and-done true freshman. All right, we're going to talk more here just in a second, but make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We put out daily content, including live for every game. And we got challenged by our Celtics channel here on who can get the most subscribers on today's show. Let's take down Celtics today. Hit that sub button. Let's beat them today. The honest truth. This is not me taking a shot at Kel'el Ware. It isn't, because I like Kel'el Ware. I think he's got a good future ahead of him in the NBA due to his 7'4.5" wingspan, 7-foot frame, his athleticism. As soon as he puts the pieces together and is able to consistently stay on the floor, you see the three-point shot looking a little confident. You see his ability to reject shots and be a deterrent at the rim. But I would have taken BPA. And sure, you might say, Nick, well, why should we listen to you? You're no draft expert. Well, I'm the best we got here at Chat Sports. And on my big board and the past draft, I had Dalton Knecht as my 7th overall prospect. Jared McCain is my 9th overall prospect. And Kel'el Ware at 14th. So like I said, I don't even hate the Kel'el Ware pick because they drafted him where I thought he would have been drafted according to my big board. And yes, the Heat did need a backup center for Bam Adebayo and potentially a long-term front court partner for Bam. But I just thought the talent and productivity that Dalton Knecht and Jared McCain both had and would have been able to provide you right away would have just been too good to pass up on. And I was detailed in my big board of how they could be so helpful and impactful right away in the league, as well as being long-term upside pieces by them both being top 10 in my big board. It's not a shot at Kel'el Ware because I think he's going to be good in the NBA. I just think Dalton Knecht and Jared McCain are better now and will probably be better in their careers as well. We're going to continue here in just a second, but we are sponsored by DraftKings, the #1 sportsbook and casino here. Even though I have my doubts on Kel'el Ware, you should not have your doubts on DraftKings. The Emirates NBA Cup is here. You can win big getting in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. All 30 teams, split into 6 groups, every Tuesday and Friday playing for the right to advance in the single elimination in-season tourney, culminating in the NBA Cup Championship in Vegas. First time, here's something special just for you. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Score big with DraftKings Sportsbook. Every point counts. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code HEATCHAT. That's code HEATCHAT for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777. Visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/bball. The Heat don't play today, but the NBA Cup does have some games going on tonight, and I've got 2 plays here. I got Celtics -5.5. I think they finally beat the Cavaliers. Like, Cleveland's not going to stay undefeated, and I like the Celtics to cover it as well. And I also take the Nets -3 tonight as well. Lines and odds subject to change over at DraftKings, so make sure you download the app and use promo code HEATCHAT to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first $5 wager. Shout out to the best sportsbook around. That is DraftKings. All right, let's get back to the conversation about Ware because it's frustrating, man. It really is. And I wish he was on the floor playing more. Do I think he could contribute to this Heat team? I do. We'll have to see how his playing time either increases or decreases going forward over the next 2 or 3 weeks and when he finally becomes a mainstay in this rotation. But people will say that the reason why Kel'el Ware was drafted is because he had a high upside, but it also filled a position of need at backup center. I do think it was a position of need. But I still would go out and tell you that I think the position that Jared McCain would fill on this team is actually a bigger position of need because we have seen Josh Richardson come in off the bench and stink. Terry Rozier has been bad this year. And you've seen Drew Smith have to play, even though he was fantastic last night against Philadelphia. That role of Josh Richardson, the role that Drew Smith played yesterday, the role that you hope Terry Rozier is going to play as he goes further into the season, is the role that Jared McCain is already playing for the Philadelphia 76ers. We showed his stats all season earlier in the video, but look at what he did against Miami last night in 37 minutes as he is the starting 2 guard for Philly. But I believe he could be a starting 1. 20 points, 50% from the field, and nearly 50% from 3. And it's not just that he was good yesterday on the stat sheet, it's the eye test as well. He is playing like an absolute veteran out there. Sure, does he have the turnovers at times when he gets blitzed as a ball handler? Yes, that's only going to improve. But McCain is so poised as he gets inside of the three-point arc. There was a couple plays yesterday where he was running the pick and roll as the ball handler, and he just was patient, waited for the roller to get to the painted area and get closer to the rim, had the defender on his hip and back, and he just hopped back for an elbow mid-range jumper and knocked it down. And then you also see his quick lightning release on the perimeter when he catches it on the swings. It just touches his hand right into his shooting motion. It's been spectacular to watch, and I know it's a 76er, but this is someone that I really fell in love with throughout the draft process and wanted Miami to take. And the advanced numbers showed even more. The one struggle he might have is shooting three-pointers off the dribble. He does not have that in his game right now, but I believe that he is going to be able to develop it just based off other shooting metrics. He's shooting 54.5% inside the painted area. He's shooting 52.2% on pull-up mid-range jumpers, and I mentioned that catch-and-shoot lightning three-point release. Yeah, he's shooting 49% on catch-and-shoot three-pointers, and he's getting them up at a pretty high clip. 3.5 catch-and-shoot three-pointers a night, and he's knocking down nearly 50% of them. He has been sensational for the Philadelphia 76ers, and I'm going to say it once again, I think it was a mistake for the Heat to draft Kel'el Ware over Jared McCain. But pick a rookie for me. Not this season because it's clearly going to be Jared McCain, but for the foreseeable future. Do you think McCain's going to have a better career than Kel'el Ware? Type JM. Or if you got your guys back in Kel'el Ware, type your KWs. Before we round out today's show, I do want to get this off my chest. Even though I have outlined the mistake in 2020 of Precious Achiuwa over Tyrese Maxey, and I have outlined the potential mistake of Kel'el Ware over Jared McCain, it's tough to really criticize Pat Riley because he has done a really good job drafting over the past decade. Sure, Justice Winslow was bad in 2015, but getting Josh Richardson in the second round was a good pick. Bam Adebayo in 2017 is the second best pick in Heat history behind Dwayne Wade. Tyler Hero in 2019 at pick number 13 could be arguably be the third best pick in Heat history behind Bam and Dwayne Wade after what he's provided you over the last 6 seasons. And you've gotten unbelievable contributions from Jaime Jaquez Jr. at 18 from last year's draft, and you got great production. And I want to be clear here. Nikola Jovic is a great pick. Has he been an unbelievable all-star player? No, but for his role and his importance onto this team to be drafted at 27th overall, that is pretty darn good as well. So, you have seen good selections from Pat Riley. It's just frustrating to see him pass up 2 guards that look like all-star caliber players, in one case all-NBA and Tyrese Maxey, for big men right in front of the Philadelphia 76ers. I don't like Philly. I hate everything about Philadelphia, and that's why it makes me even upset. If it was the Memphis Grizzlies behind us both of those times, instead of the 76ers, I'm sure I would not be making this video. But because it's Philly and a rival of Miami, I have to do it. And it just pains me, but I have to show this. I do. Take it back to draft night. And a little of a lighter note before we get out of here. Jake Fisher. Oh, Jake. He actually reported that the Heat are drafting Jared McCain out of Duke. What could have been? Remember earlier in the video when I said 9:36 p.m. is when I tweeted it's got to be Dawn Connect? Well, you see 9:37. He said it was Jared McCain, but it wasn't, because then he quote tweeted this 3 minutes later and said, "It's effing Ware. I'm so sorry, y'all." can't show the F word, but an all-time tweet. And that's how I want to end it. As much as this video has been negative about Miami, this might be the most iconic tweet in NBA draft history. It's effing Ware. I'm so sorry, y'all. After Jake Fisher previously got a couple picks wrong in the top 14 as well. Unbelievable performance from Jake Fisher that night. It's all love, though. All right, that's going to do it. If you want someone that won't make a mistake like Jake Fisher, sorry, one more shot, Jake, if you watch. Make sure you follow me over on Twitter at Nic_Rohloff, tweeting out highlights from Miami Heat games, also talking Heat basketball every single day. So hopefully I see you over there.